that came from, somewhere. But I want to make sure that your taxpayers' money is well maintained and taken care of. How many of you care about where your money is spent? We need good conservative candidates with conservative values, especially on fiscal restraint. And also, in my opinion, the government that governs the best governs the least. How many of you would agree with me on that? Our government has become too large, especially in California. They're working on a state budget. I don't know, I wasn't here earlier, don't know if anybody mentioned that, but they have the framework of a budget. They're only off by about $1 billion. And when it's 19 billion deficit, that's pretty close. So within this next week, hopefully they'll have that fixed. But education is a big part of that budget. And on the local level, it affects all of us, and I want to ensure that. I also want to ensure that your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren have a great college to go to. A college that has classes that are offered to support local businesses that are training those that are unemployed or are laid off. We have a 15% unemployment rate in San Bernardino County. Isn't that crazy? We need to use the education that we have, such as our local community colleges like Victor Valley College, retrain those people that are laid off, train them in another profession, and use your taxpayer dollars wisely. So I stand here before you and I ask for your vote and for your support on November 2nd, and also support those candidates like Steve Knight and Angela Bias that support our values, our core values, that this country was founded on. I talk about I Can being an American, and we all as a group can step up together and make the shot heard around the world that they heard at Lexington and Concord. We don't need to just sit here at the Cocky Bull and talk about it. We need to actually get out there on the polls on November 2nd and vote. Vote our conscience, regardless of what people think about us. You know, Bill was talking about some of you are for the marijuana prop, some of you against it. As long as you get out there and vote your conscience, what you truly believe is right for this country, we can get this country back on track. Do you all agree with that? So if we get together, no matter what we are, no matter what beliefs we come from, and support those values, those common values such as fiscal responsibility, no new taxes, smaller government, that no matter what the candidate is running for, if they share our values, we need to support them this November 2nd. Such as Clint Eric as well, for the Apple Valley. Just plug it. He didn't ask me to plug him, but he's going to be a great council member. So, you're welcome, Clint. And Bill also mentioned the fact that I took out an ad in the paper, on the back page I took out an ad, and that I must have got a big donation. I stand before you and proud to say, folks, my campaign is self-financed. I am not beholden to anybody. I will not let anybody influence me or my decisions. And I will not take any donations from anyone else. If you do come up to me and say, I'd like to donate, I'd say, no, sorry, but the way you can help me is vote November 2nd. Put me in office. Am I just one person? Yes. But if we elect one person here, one person there, eventually our voices are going to get heard. But if we just sit back and say, well, it's not worth it, then this country is going to keep going down. And as a proud military veteran of the United States Army, I cannot sit back and see that happen either. My father and grandfather fought for this country. How many veterans do we have in here? How many military veterans do we have here? I thank you for your service. I appreciate, let's give them a round of applause. I appreciate your service. At the Victor Valley College, I intend to work with veterans to make sure they can use their GI Bill benefits, have a smooth transition from military life into the college life, and then help them find a job and not be unemployed. You know, a lot of the homeless in America are veterans. Majority of homeless in America, not just in California, are U.S. veterans. And so I want to make sure that they have the opportunity there as well. So please, ladies and gentlemen, join me in voting for those candidates and myself. I'm running for the Victor Valley College Board. I have a nice meet and greet coming up next Wednesday night. You're more than welcome to come. It's at Canaries. And it's just getting together. Assemblyman Steve Knight and Angela Bias are hosting it. So if you'd like to come out at Canaries, let me know. I've got a nice ad in there to, an invitation to you. And I support the High Desert Tea Party, and that's why I took out an ad as big as I did. Not to try to impress you and, whoa, he's all glamorous. I know, I'm dressed up a little bit here. No, really, truly, I believe in the values that the Tea Party shares. I share them with you, and I hope that in the future we can get more people to believe like we do, and eventually this country will get back on the right track. So I appreciate your time tonight and your patience listening to me. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you. We have some questions out there? All right. Howdy. Two quick questions. I got family of 8. 4 of us are going to Victor Valley College right now. I met my wife there 30 years ago. It's a great place. It's a great cultural asset. And I'm very appreciative of what we have. I'll tell you this. there's a scam going on, and I'd love to see what you think we can do to stop this. A lot of your veterans can't get into classes. There's priority registration for some people that have no intention of getting educated. Go there and sit the minimum prescribed time to get their financial aid. Once they get it, they leave. And they're clogging up classes to an unbelievable size. A lot of people can't get classes. I addressed this to the board a couple months ago. One of the board members one of your opponents came to me and said, we're babysitters. We cannot touch this issue, and in fact, we get money from this. People who want to get the classes can't, and the school's making money off these people that are scamming the system. In fact, O'Hearn, the president today, said in the daily press, he acknowledged the situation is happening, but they're doing nothing to stop it. It's very frustrating. And by the end of the class, half the kids are gone. And there's great teachers there that have nobody to teach, and the good people have been blocked out. I'd like to know what you want to do about that.
Thank you. I appreciate your question. Great question. He was just basically asking about the situation with the veterans and priority registration at BBC. There are problems at every community college. Now, I'm not privy to the details of that yet, but when you all vote for me and get me elected, I can promise you this, sir, and everyone in this room, I will look into every single concern that you have, and I will see what can or cannot be done, because the word no is not in my vocabulary. I have never used no. No is not something that I was ever, when I was growing up in rural America, with the Midwestern values, no is not a word. We found a way to do it, and I promise you, as I stand here tonight, I will find a way to get done what needs to be done, and work with those that need to be worked with, such as Assemblyman Steve Knight on the state level, to figure out how we can fix that problem.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? One down here.
I have a concern. Through our public education, we get about 16 hours total of training on government and Constitution. What's the possibility of getting a class for Constitution, a volunteer class for Constitution there at the college?
I do not know what classes are offered as far as like the Constitution, but I will definitely, in this paper that you all have on the back page is my personal cell phone and email. I will look into it. I believe that we need to have the constitutional classes because I teach at the high school level as well. I'm a teacher on the college level and on the high school level, and I see that a lot of students don't even know the preamble to our Constitution. And a lot of adults, young adults, do not know our preamble. And it concerns me that they don't even know what the Bill of Rights are. And so I will see what I can do. I cannot until I go there, but I promise you this, like I was telling him, I will look into every concern that everybody has, check and see why we don't have it, what we do have, and then what we can get to improve what we have. If we don't have it, I will see what I can do to get it on the campus.
I have a quick question. I heard somewhere that we are now testing on all the nations around the world. We used to be in the top 5 in math, science, English. Now we're down to 28, 26 in the top 30 countries in the world. Is that a true fact?
The United States overall is about 28th. There are countries such as Norway that are ahead of us. In California, I appreciate that question, Clint, because before I got here, I looked up where California ranks in the United States. Out of 50 states, can anybody take a guess where California ranks in their test scores and their...
48.
They are second to last. Second to last. Now, we used to be the greatest state in the United States. How many of you are born California natives? California was admitted to the Union in September, many years ago. 31st state. And now, being the 31st state, we're 48th in the nation in education. So I want to try to see where the problems are happening, where they're occurring, and try to find solutions for those problems. Because people are always talking about right now cutting, but they're not looking at raising revenue. And we can't depend on the federal government to raise revenue. The only revenue they want are our tax dollars. We need to look to private industry, small business. I'm a big proponent of small business, to help work with our schools and our colleges to bring in programs as maybe mentors, to mentor our young... Many of our young students today, ladies and gentlemen, don't have parents. They don't have anybody to be a good role model for them, and that's one of the reasons that California especially has lost a lot of their edge. Yes, India and China are number 1 and 2 in the world. They're surpassing us by far. And we cannot be left behind, but we are getting left behind, unfortunately.
The gentleman had a question about Constitution. There is a way at the college called BBC and Me, where any person who has any expertise can actually teach a college course. It's a non-profit. It's a way of working with the college. You can pick any room to work in, and they will accommodate you. You just have to show that you have that knowledge. Quick question: they shut down winter session. No winter session classes, even though the college has a substantial surplus, tens of millions of dollars. It will cost about $800,000. Will you come to the next board meeting and speak on behalf of opening up the winter session if it's possible? Yes or no?
Yes, and please understand that California has not passed a state budget yet. They're working on it, and one of the reasons that community colleges cancel sessions, I apologize, is that their lack of funding from the state government. Like I said, education is the #1 expenditure of your taxpayer dollars. Colleges such as BBC have to cancel sessions if they don't know how much money they're going to get. Right now, they have no idea, but I will absolutely find out once the budget gets passed, and hopefully this week, and then look into the surplus that they may or may not have and see how much that is and what can be done to possibly either restore or not let it happen again in the future.
Would you be interested in voting to have Clint and Bill teach a Tea Party class?
You know, I'll tell you something, Bill mentions that, but I was also, one of the things I'm a big proponent of is having volunteers come out. We don't have a lot of money in California right now, but Constitution class, if there's somebody you know, let me know. When I get elected to the board, I would make space, a classroom, and provide that for them to be able to come out if they'd love to volunteer, because right now we don't have a lot of money. So,
yeah, we'll bring what we've got. We'd be glad to teach a class on Constitution.
But I appreciate your patience. Thank you very much.
You did a really good job. Ladies and gentlemen, that college is going to be important to this community. When you sit on a city council where I was once before, you realize that the community cannot survive.